and welcome to another episode of the Good Human Podcast. Today we are going to talk about a common subject that comes up. Before we do that, let us remind you that we have got members only content available via a link in the description where we'll answer questions only for the eyes of our members. Please remember to like and subscribe to this podcast on this channel so that you don't miss any of our future episodes. So, the subject that we're going to talk about today is something that has came up through my entire fitness career. I remember it affecting me in my very, very early days of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and that's like over 25 years ago. And it is the idea of, well, here's what happens. Women will come to us as fitness professionals and they will say, I really want to be stronger, I really want to do CrossFit, I really want to lift weights, but I don't want to look bulky.
Yes. They don't want to look masculine.
So much to unpack.
I know. It's such a... We hear that all the time. That is such a...
I hear it less than I used to. So 20 years ago, it was very strongly felt. It has thankfully diluted down over the years, but we do still hear it. Somebody basically said it to me like a week ago.
Yeah, I had a family member say it to me.
Yeah,
it was unnatural looking.
Oh,
yeah,
unnatural.
I was like, thanks. That's all my work's paying off.
Yeah, no, that's something to look at as well. Yeah. Okay, so I think we're going to try and answer this and not miss out any of the parts.
Yes.
Which will be challenging because it is a very multi-layered thing. There's a lot going on with this as a statement. Now, do you want to go ahead first, Beth? I feel like I might go off on a rant.
No, so I was saying, right, the thing I hear people, I will speak about the family members saying that to me actually,
yeah,
right?
Brilliant.
This thing about girls having muscles is unnatural, you look freakish. The thing I want to say to everybody, if my body is capable of doing something like putting on muscle mass and without taking anything unnatural, so it happens fairly easily, it's not unnatural. It's not unnatural for a girl to look muscular if my body is capable of doing it. And because you haven't before seen, or it wasn't, years ago socially acceptable, very much so I think more in like my parents' day and age. But if you look back throughout history, like further, like you think of like Amazonian women, they were big and they were powerful and they were muscular, and I bet you nobody was calling them freakish or masculine. So this idea that's unnatural, it's not. So in a biological sense, it's not wrong. The issue very much lies in our cultural perception of it and how society looks at women who are strong or women who have muscle. I know you've got something to say about that.
So much to
it's
say
a favourite topic between me and Anne.
Yeah, so it took me a little while to be able to see through the blah 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 surrounding this, and a lot of top level CrossFitters have posted up saying, it's my body's capable of so much, it's incredible what it's capable of, and I celebrate what my body can do. But they're missing the point.
Yeah.
They're missing the point. This narrative about it looking masculine has got nothing to do with attractiveness, and it has got everything to do with control.
Yes.
Because what does it say? Why have we created a societal narrative that says women shouldn't look strong? Because a strong woman implies dominance, it implies alpha, it implies independence, confidence, autonomy. It implies not needing other people. She doesn't need looking after. She doesn't require being told what to do. She's going to tell you what to do. And you're going to be terrified of her.
I love it.
There is nothing scarier in this world than a confident woman. It is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
And that is the way that we've constructed it in society. Keep women small, keep them quiet, keep them out of the way, keep them controlled, keep them weak. Because being strong will give you something that you didn't know was possible. A level of empowerment and confidence that you never knew was within your grasp, that you didn't know existed for you. And you can do that just by being strong. And it's hard to translate that to somebody who has never been strong and who has been kept small and weak by that societal narrative of, you look bulky, you look ugly, you look masculine. By the way, what's wrong with looking masculine? Who are you to tell me that that is not attractive? I'm not trying to attract you anyway. See if a guy said to me, I don't find you attractive because you look too masculine. That guy is the least attractive guy to me that I could possibly imagine. He would be so low down my list of people that I would want to attract that he doesn't even exist for me. But see a man who's like attracted to that power and that dominance and that alpha and that independence, that guy is worth a lot.
That guy's masculine.
Because that guy has confidence and alpha and dominance, and he knows his place in the world is strong and solid, and he's not afraid of a confident woman. He's on par, he's attracted to a confident woman. So if you want to be with somebody who wants to control you and dominate you and keep you submissive, then sure, stay weak.
And I've said this before, it's a bit mean, right? I so rarely get the you're too masculine from guys who are jacked or guys who are really manly. It is the opposite.
Because those guys are confident.
Yeah.
Because those guys are self-assured and they're happy with who they are, and they're not trying to bring other people down and control them and keep them small.
Yeah.
And they've not created this idea in their head that strong women are a threat to them, that make them frightened, and that that's out with what is natural.
Yes.
You know, this idea that men should protect women. Well, men that are confident and self-assured and happy in their own world and in their own body and in themselves, they don't need to dominate somebody else.
Let me tell you this. There's nothing more dangerous than an insecure man. Insecure man, when somebody cares or doesn't like it when you are strong and when you are independent, and that's what being strong gives you, is that capability and that independence, like you said. That is somebody that does not respect you as a person, that doesn't care about shitting all over you, making you feel bad. You are not a person in their eyes. You are just, what can they get from you and what can you give them? You're not relevant to them as a person.
It's true. It's true. It's funny. I was having a little giggle about this the other day. It's been said to me so many times over the years, and it was said again just recently. Somebody said that they didn't want to get too muscly, and I was like, yeah, because nobody wants to be too strong.
That's why my snatch is so little, by the way. I've just been too scared of being too strong all this time.
Don't want to be too strong, Beth, because you never know what could happen if you were just too strong.
Oh my goodness.
You know, like we're laughing at it, right? And we're poking fun at it. And just to backtrack a little and be a little softer here, because I am joking a little in order to emphasise the point. You can be confident and self-assured and not physically strong. Like that absolutely can be the case. Like, so I'm not saying you can only have self-worth and only be confident and only be in a good relationship if you're physically powerful.
Or you're still completely wonderful if you're not strong.
Of course you are.
We're not here to shit on people that don't lift weights and aren't strong. No.
That's like confidence. You will meet plenty of perfectly insecure women who are very strong.
As well, that.
Like a lot of them. You'll meet insecure men who are strong,
Yes.
because sometimes that's the catalyst for them gaining the strength is their insecurity.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to find something to battle that insecurity. And you'll find that a lot, especially, I'm going to quote a guy that I used to date who said that he said it, not me, who said that you will never find a bodybuilder who hasn't got a sad backstory.
Yeah, true.
And he had a sad backstory himself. Lovely guy. And you know, he was heavily into his bodybuilding, and that was all as a way to control things that he couldn't control from his past.
Yeah, particularly bodybuilding. It's quite, that's I think we are having a giggle and everything, but it's not like us just saying this to you will make you go, oh, well, I don't care then. I don't care if people say that stuff to me. That is so deeply embedded in, like, women are raised and girls are raised to seek that validation off of, like, men and wanting to be beautiful and wanting to be gorgeous and wanting to be perfect. Like, this is not just a case of, oh, you shouldn't care, so you don't care. Like, this is embedded deep within our society and how we are raised as people, and it's also in the caring what other people think.
So I had a conversation with a friend of ours the other day, and they were lamenting trying to live up to the standards put on them by other people. And I pointed out to them that those things don't exist. Okay, so my confidence is not hinged on your opinion of me. So I would challenge you to say anything to me that could bring me down. It's impossible. You cannot. And you know me very well. Like, you're probably aware, I don't even know that I'm aware of my biggest weaknesses, but maybe you're more aware of them than I am. Like, that you could probably like dig into my biggest weak point and find something that should be incredibly hurtful and throw it at me, and it won't touch me. It won't stick. And I won't be vulnerable, and I won't go home crying. And you could say, well, how do you get like that? How do you reach the point that you have that level of confidence in yourself or self-assurance that you cannot be touched by other people's opinions? And it's got nothing to do with what people think, right? It's knowing that if you were trying to strike out at me and hurt me, that has nothing to do with me and everything to do with you. That is because in that state, in that moment, you're feeling bad about something about yourself and you're trying to project it out at me. You're trying to hurt me. Now, on top of that, I also know myself very, very well. So I don't have things that I'm afraid of, that I'm hiding from. So if you dug in and found something that you're like, yeah, that'll get her, and you threw it at me, I'm not going to feel it because I'm not scared of it. Yes. Because I've spent time getting to know myself very, very well. Now, it doesn't mean I'm perfect. It is not about being perfect. You could say to me, not very fit, Anne. I'd be like, definitely trying to work on it.
Yeah, it could be anything. You know, that's how we know that the thing with the masculine or looking masculine isn't to do with how you look. It's nothing at all. And also what you've just said about when other people say it to you. When somebody says to you, you're too masculine looking, you are making them feel inferior in a sense. They're saying nobody who feels good about themselves or confident is coming to you and saying that, because you wouldn't be too masculine for them.
You would just be you.
You would just be you. And also, I think it's interesting that having muscle gets placed into the masculine category when females can also
just
do
a way
it.
Of control them. It's just a way of negating it to make it. It's a control issue. And the entire narrative is a control issue. But it's had this horrible. So it comes from this desire to control women and keep them small. But it's became a societal norm through that, so that women believe the narrative, and they believe that they shouldn't look masculine, they shouldn't look strong, because that narrative is so, like you said, deeply embedded that they're not even thinking about it. Like I joked, like, who wouldn't want to be like really strong. Like, you're not going to be too strong.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, better stop now. You're getting a wee bit too strong.
Yeah.
Like, the absurdity of it is so obvious. You get to the stage where your body is so fast at sprinting or so good at doing pull-ups that you must stop because you've got too good.
Don't know your own strength.
It's like we can joke about it and laugh about it because it is absurd.
Yeah.
So if you backtrack and go, like what's behind it? So that's behind that narrative. This societal need to control women, stop them from becoming alpha and dominant and independent and autonomous.
Mm-hmm.
But it's allowed by insecurity and lack of confidence.
Yes.
And lack of self-awareness. And it's allowed by women themselves because they don't realise that that narrative is being projected at them from insecure people.
Yes.
Onto somebody who might be vulnerable and insecure themselves. And so they're triggered because they have this belief in them themselves, but they're triggered by someone who's projecting
Yes.
at them about their insecurities
Mm-hmm.
and vulnerability about themselves. And so you get this hideous, it's a trap, you get this hideous like infinite loop of insecurity going
Yes.
on, where projecting, receiving, confirming, projecting,
Yes.
receiving,
Mm-hmm.
confirming. And people are never getting out of that loop. Now, here's one of the beautiful things about all this that's, I don't know if it's ironic, and that is that by becoming more physically fit and stronger,
Yes.
it will increase your, well, no, I won't say it will because we have already covered that
Mm-hmm.
like some people pursue it out of insecurity.
Yeah.
The likelihood is it will increase your confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's a good example. I think I've used this before, but two women in this case walking down the street. Actually, do you know what? It doesn't matter if it's women or not. Actually, it doesn't. Two people walking down either side of the street, okay, under a railway bridge. And there's somebody hiding at the end of the railway bridge that wants to mug somebody that night. Are they going to pick the person that's walking tall and like, you know, looking ahead and like, they've not got a hood up or anything, they're just like looking straight ahead and they're like confident, they've got
Mm-hmm.
a tall, good posture. Maybe they actually look physically quite fit. Or are they going to pick on the person that's got a short stride, that's hunched over, that's a little bit like
Yeah.
furtively looking around, you know, glancing at the ground, looking like they're scared of the world?
Mm-hmm.
Like, which person is the person that's going to get picked on?
Exactly.
Now, that is not their fault, but you can see how you can change your world.
Mm-hmm.
So physical strength can definitely give you a confidence and a level of empowerment that you didn't know was available to you.
Yeah, and that comes from within you as well. Like, that's not bound. Like, when we break it apart, like, why is saying to somebody, oh, you're too masculine, an insult? It's playing upon the thing that you have to be attractive and you have to look a certain way. So it's not like being masculine or looking masculine or having muscle isn't the insult. The insult is, oh, you're not attractive, you know, because you could do it with other things.
Which is hilarious because really at its core, see when people find people really attractive,
Mm-hmm.
folk always think like you've got to look a certain way in order to be attractive. But actually, do you know?
Me and my friends will confirm.
Yeah. Like, nobody is attractive unless they're an attractive person.
Yeah, totally. Attraction is mind-boggling as well. Like, I was laughing there, but see, you know what, yourself and friends, some of my friends.
You're my only friend, Beth.
Yeah. Oh. Well, you can confirm.
She's not. The rest of you are friends with me. I know I'm friends with you as well.
No, but I mean, you know it yourself, like, you'll have friends and they'll say they're speaking to somebody, or, you know, and you look at them and you're like, oh, maybe not what I would have gone for, but that's attraction. Like, these people are not perfect in the slightest, but your friends are still attracted to them. So it's very much, you don't have to look a certain way.
Attractiveness as well. Like, you're never going to be attractive if you're an asshole.
You're also not going to be attractive to everybody. Like, people need to accept that fact.
Yeah.
And you need to
you
be okay.
Could be absolutely stunning, by the book, stunning, and plenty of people will not find you attractive.
100%. Yeah.
Lots of them.
You need to learn to be okay with that, and learn to be okay in yourself with the idea of like not being attractive, which it's not a thing because again what we've just discussed, like attraction is so different. But as when you are being insulted by someone saying you look too masculine, you're being insulted because they're implying that you are not attractive to them. Yeah, which begs the question: are you attracted to them?
I think that brings us nicely back as well to the podcast that we did before about your looks are the least interesting thing about you.
That.
Like, and if they're the most interesting thing about you, probably not a great place to be.
Think about it though, right? When you go on first dates with people, you're going on dates with people that you assume are attractive. They're good looking.
You've probably found them physically attractive in some way enough that you've agreed to go on a date with them. Yeah.
But walking away,
that can turn like that.
So the make or break isn't the physical attractiveness, it's the personality behind that. We talked about this in a different podcast, but that finding that value out with how you look.
Yeah.
You know, and you've just said this, when you get strong and you lift weights and you feel capable and you feel independent, that actually builds some of that intrinsic confidence, where what other people think of you begins to no longer matter.
I think there's a real strong reflection of your personality as well. Like, so if you actively say, I think this is really interesting. Like, if you are actively saying, I want to look strong, then you're probably also projecting a personality of confidence. You're probably projecting, I want to be seen in my physical persona the way I feel in my personality. And as the opposite of that, if you're saying, I don't want to look strong, you're holding back wanting to be smaller, wanting to be weaker, perhaps wanting to be somebody who needs looking after. You know, and then I would ask you just to look at that yourself as an individual person and decide whether that is the quality that you want to have or you don't want to have. Because it's not for me to say whether or not you want to be looked after. Like, I'm not trying to change people in that way. Like, what I want to do is give people the information so that they can choose what they want to be like and not feel trapped. And maybe realise that there's another way of looking at things. You know, and another way of looking at themselves, and that they don't have to fit into this little pocket that they've evolved in, where they think that their whole identity is, I need looking after. I need to attract a man who will look after me. I need the world to look after me. I can't do this. I can't do this. I need help. You know, they've no self-confidence in their own ability to do things. And I don't know, maybe that's who they want to be. Maybe that brings them intense happiness. You know, it's like, for sure you can tell that's not for me, but that doesn't mean that that's not where somebody else finds comfort and happiness. And you know, maybe with the right people round about them, it works well. I don't know.
But it's that bringing that awareness so that you are making a choice at that point then. But the thing, how do I describe this? I can't describe it. I'm not even gonna. The words, they preclude me. Or
They just evacuate the station. So once you, there's a lot of this depends on the environments that you're in. So something interesting that happens, I've been in the CrossFit world now for like the last 15 years. And you say to a girl that does CrossFit or has been doing it for any length of time that she looks skinny, she'll punch you in the face.
That's true, by the way.
She will take it as a major insult. You tell her that her traps are jumping and she looks jacked as fuck, and she's going to be like, oh my god! Oh my god! And she's going to love you. Now, that I think shows you how much it is like what information is surrounding you.
True.
Like what is conditioned into you. That if you change your environment, you change the narrative. I grew up in the farming world, which can be, it depends on your experience of it, right? So my personal experience of it was that I was expected to be just as capable as anybody else. I was expected to go and move that gate or grab that sheep or whatever, move that hay bale. I never felt like I was not asked to do it because I was a girl. I was very much asked to do it and expected to be able to do it. Now, other people will say that in the farming world they experience intense sexism. I personally did not. I actually experienced the exact opposite. I experienced a world where I was expected, there was no division. So I suppose that depends on who you're around and what your environment is. But within that world, I was expected to be capable. That was my point. In the CrossFit world, you're surrounded by people who want to be fit and strong. That's why they're there. You know, and that's male and female. And so the people within that world, or if you're weightlifting or powerlifting, like if you're powerlifting and you're a girl that's got like a 150 back squat, everyone is going to love you. Everyone is going to want to be your friend and hang around you. You're going to be wow. And so that just shows you how much your environment matters. Now, if you surround yourself by a group of people that are never in that environment, they're not in the health and fitness world, they're not, or maybe they're in the health and fitness world of like tiny weights and just jumping about and stuff. I don't know what that world is. Whatever that world is. Trampoline. I bet they're like full on like gymnasts trampoline.
No, it'd be fun. That'd be fun.
But if you're surrounding yourself in like a world like that, then like what you're hearing all the time is keep yourself small, keep yourself demure, keep yourself like, you know, feminine. Whatever that is.
I've muscle my No, you're right. See and I'll say this to any like girls, because we're talking about like being called masculine if you're a girl and you're thinking about like getting to weightlifting but you're scared of getting bulky. See, when you start lifting weights, you honestly no longer care about looking too bulky because of what you've just said. You're now surrounded by people who are like jacked, and your view kind of gets a bit skewed, and that becomes like so normal to you, where the like somebody who isn't jacked becomes a bit more of like the abnormal. So you'll no longer care about looking too muscly because you're surrounded by muscly people and it's just the norm. Like you can't even see it anymore. It's like when you're like 14 and you do your eyebrows like way too thick and everybody's telling you it looks awful, but you just can't see it. That's exactly what happens. So my advice to any girls that want to start and are too scared is that it won't even matter to you once you delve into that world, because you'll probably not be interested in those guys anymore that are calling you too masculine or afraid of being too bulky.
I think I've been removed from that other world for so long now I forget it exists.
Same, that.
I forget, like, because before CrossFit I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so I've been in the sort of fitness world since I was 18, which is like 27 years now. So more than half my life I've been in this world where people glorify fitness and strength. And I never really existed much. I mean, a little bit before that, but I never really existed much in the world of, because from 18 I wanted to be fit and strong. I wanted to be seen like that. And I was sort of surrounded by, and then I was in the military as well, you know, so so I never fully experienced, it's probably made it easier for me, I guess, but I never really fully experienced, other than having people talk to me about it, that idea that like being female and looking strong was a bad thing.
Yeah.
I only ever experienced it really as a good thing.
Yeah.
Now the funny thing is as well, like, pay attention to something else. How you feel about you is how you project yourself out into the world. So I'm just thinking back, I was just getting little flashbacks there to being 18 and getting strong and being out in the nightclubs in Glasgow and literally having guys coming up to me. Now, if this is what's important to you, but literally having guys coming up to me and being like, holy shit, look at your back. I don't remember anyone, I guess it just never happened, anybody insulting me for being strong. Now, I wonder if that's because of how I projected myself.
Yeah, like to you it wasn't, you wouldn't even considered it to be a bad thing.
No. It never occurred to me because I guess that was just what I was kind of brought up in.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I was lucky, like who I was surrounded by, I'm not sure, maybe.
It's an interesting point though. Very
But I don't know, unless I just don't, just you know what I was saying to you before about how when you're happy in who you are, you can't be touched.
Yeah.
Maybe I just don't remember people being negative.
Yeah.
Like maybe I just don't remember.
It kind of reminds me, it brings me back to like what you said about the, like, you know yourself and there's nothing nobody could say that you're not aware of. And I think, like, if someone is going to call you like too muscular, too masculine, just own it. Like,
yeah. I suspect that's actually, I can't imagine never having somebody have a negative comment to say. You just feel like, surely, like, I would experience that as other people would, if that's how I was walking around, and it was. But I suspect that's what it is, though. It's like I knew I was strong and I was damn proud of it.
That,
Still
I
am.
think.
Still am.
See if you are projecting that, like, God damn, yeah, I'm strong and I'm happy about it.
I didn't want to look any other way.
Insecure people pick up on what you're insecure about.
Yeah.
And they will pick on that to bring you down. So if you're projecting being happy about being strong, there's nothing to pick on you about.
It's not vulnerability.
That. So again, that would probably be another big bit of advice. And it's kind of the same like with bullies. Bullies will pick on the thing they know they can pick on.
Yeah.
Minor bullying, and there's layers to that. But if it's not an insult to you, it's not an insult. So that would be my kind of final conclusion there. Yeah. You got any more points?
No, in danger of me going off on another rant about control. I think it's really important to remember that, both whether you're a guy or a girl listening to this, that negative narrative to bring down women who are strong is about control. It's about trying to control how they look, because that strong look suggests something that those people don't want.
Yes.
Nobody runs around going, I hate blonde people. You shouldn't be blonde. Nobody should be blonde.
Sure.
Well, actually, probably some people do, but you know, it's not a narrative. I hate blonde people. Nobody should be blonde. I can't believe you're blonde. Look at you. You're ridiculous. It's unnatural. Actually, this is unnatural, to be fair.
I think like 95% of blonde is unnatural.
But you know, that's not it. You know, if you just want to confirm one more time that it's not about attractiveness, and I just want to hammer this home again and again and again, because everybody seems to think it is, and it isn't.
Nothing to do with it. Nothing.
It is about control.
Yeah, that's a good point to end on.
It is.
So thank you guys for listening to the podcast. Remember to subscribe to our channels that you're listening on. And also, if you enjoyed this, you can subscribe as a member to get our members only content, which is extra stuff that you don't get to hear about right now.
We'll put that in the description below. Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel as well on YouTube.
And we'll see you in the next episode, guys.
Bye for now.